What's up, everybody? It's Christopher J. Sickhands RBN. Back at the beginning of March this past year, the second Round 1 Bowling Arcade in New Jersey opened up here at the Mills at Jersey Gardens in Elizabeth. We were on hand to cover the grand opening, and now we're back to check it out again in November, 8 months later. I've heard that a big batch of new games moved in, but considering the space isn't that large to begin with, I can't help but wonder, what ended up moving out? Let's take a walk around and see what all is different, and make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video for some hands-on looks at the new games. Come on in!
Defend and dominate.
Select between single play and versus mode.
And that appears to be it for the games out on the floor right now. While we make our way back to the victory zone to check out the prize selection, let's talk about the changes. Round 1 is really known for two things in their arcades, the claw machines and the rhythm games, and I definitely noticed both of those got bulked up. At opening, the claw machines were just nothing but the E-claws and Fun Zone 2s, but now it appears they added a lot more of the small chibi claws, as well as the ones where you grab a yellow plush coin and drop it in the chute in order to win a boxed figurine. They still don't have any of the really unique claw machines that you see outside of New Jersey, such as the ones where you drop ping pong balls into a wire grid, or push a cylinder into a hole, or even push the prize itself through rubber bands. I guess those didn't get state approval. And meanwhile, over in the rhythm game section, when this place opened up, I felt it had one of the weakest rhythm game lineups compared to other Round 1s. It felt like it was almost nothing but dance games. But now they've made steps towards improving that, with the addition of Gitadora Guitar Freaks and Drum Mania, Taiko no Tatsujin, and the long-awaited official US debut of Maimai DX. It definitely feels more well-rounded now. Oh, looks like we're at the prize area. Let's take a quick look around in here. But yeah, as I was saying, you can't add all these new games into a smaller space without removing some of the older ones, and it definitely looks like they took a lot of stuff out. I think most of what got removed is on the amusement side of things. For the most part, it looks like the redemption games were safe, but things that don't pay out tickets, quite a bit of that got the boot. I noticed they got rid of half of their Maximum Tune cabinets, as well as half of the Mario Kart cabinets, and that's fair. I don't know how often all 8 cabs of each were full up. But other crowd pleasers like Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo Olympics, Cruisin' Blast, Nitro Trucks, Superbikes 2, Initial D, MotoGP, X Games Snowboarder. Man, they really did have a lot of racing games here, didn't they? But also stuff like House of the Dead 4 and Aliens Armageddon, all those seem to have been removed. One of the other mainstays of Round 1 was their imported candy cabs that have a mix of fighting games, and at opening they didn't have much. They only had 4 cabs, 2 with Guilty Gear and 2 with Street Fighter. Those are both gone now as well. The rhythm game section didn't have many casualties. Just one single Dance Rush cab is gone, and I've got my suspicions about where all these games went. The nearby Menlo Park Mall in Edison is on track to have the state's third Round 1 open up sometime in the first half of next year, and that location looks like it's going to be huge. It's taking over an entire wing of the mall on the first floor near Macy's that previously housed a Rainforest Cafe and several other smaller shops. It's going to be nearly twice the size of the one here at Jersey Gardens. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these duplicate games and older games that got removed find a new home over there once it's open to the public. I look forward to visiting that one when it's ready. One of the new games here at Round 1 is Maimai DX. This is the first location we visited since the game's official US rollout that has it up and running. It's a fan-favorite rhythm game from Sega that's had huge success overseas, and a combination of word of mouth from rhythm game aficionados and smaller arcades that specialize in imports helped Sega make the decision to finally bring it over to the United States after over a decade in Japan. The game's been mostly translated into English, has full online support, and features over 1,000 songs for players to tap along to. This is one of my daughter's favorite games, and she's a much better player at it than I am, so she's demonstrating some gameplay on the Hatsune Miku song, Magical Cure Love Shot. Enjoy! One of the other new games on the floor right now is this massive, eye-catching marble pusher from Taito. Godzilla Kaiju Drop, not to be confused with Kaiju Wars, the VR game that's been showing up everywhere. It's a gigantic 6-player cabinet with marbles, big red balls, collectible cards, and a huge rotating bust of Godzilla that occasionally lets out his trademark roar. I gave it a few tries, and I don't know. It definitely doesn't feel as enjoyable as some of the other similar games I've played in the past. There's a timing element to get marbles through the Ferris wheel mech, similar to Marvel Avengers or SpongeBob Pineapple Arcade. The Ferris wheel rewards aren't nearly as big, and when the big balls go over the edge, it's a small payoff. Like, between 7 and 14 tickets? Come on, that's just stingy. There's this spiral lift that's supposed to carry balls up towards the big rotating Godzilla. I didn't see it move once. I think you need to hit the Godzilla jackpot in order just to get the balls to go up there. Needless to say, after a few swipes and a few cards collected, I was done with it. I doubt I'll put any more credits in, unless I see one of the cards I need to finish that set that's out on the playfield. The reward for a full set is a whopping 10,000 tickets, so I guess that's what you really need to go for in order to see any return on your swipes. Round 1 is always having interesting collaborations. Right now, their food service counter is running a collab with the Japanese pop singer Ado. They have a variety of 6 special items, Mainly drinks, but also some spicy fries and a sundae featuring vanilla ice cream, taiyaki, and pocky. I tried the Usewa drink, named after one of her most famous songs, and my daughter got the taiyaki sundae. The Usewa drink was basically just blue-colored Sprite topped with whipped cream. First, I just sipped the Sprite, and it's fine if you like Sprite, but then I mixed it together with the whipped cream to give it a different texture. It's not bad. The taiyaki sundae was great, especially if you love all three of those components. The best way to enjoy it, IMO: tear off a little bit of the taiyaki, then throw it on top of a spoonful of ice cream and chomp the whole thing down at once. Delicious. They also came with 2 mystery collectible standees that you can use either as a coaster for your drink or just as a cute display piece on your shelf at home. These were definitely some nice treats that went along well with our lunch. After lunch was over, we played a few more games. Icee Slush Rush has been my game of the year so far, not even joking. My daughter got a couple more rounds of Maimai DX in, while I went to play a different rhythm game that's a bit more my speed. Sound Voltex Exceed Gear. 6 buttons and 2 knobs on a control panel is a lot more manageable for me than 8 buttons in a circle and a touchscreen. While we were heading out, we spotted this new variant on Power Roll called Ferris Fantasy. Instead of trying to roll the ball just far enough to land on a specific spot on the path, in this version, you launch the ball to try to make it into one of the holes on the rotating Ferris wheel at the far end of the cab. It's a fun twist on the game, and with a little bit of practice and some good timing, it seems like this could pay dividends for the right players anyway. That's all from our trip to Round 1 today. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. What games here at Round 1 in Jersey Gardens would you want to play the next time you visit? Let us know down in the comments. If you made it this far, congratulations. You made it further than 95% of the viewers on my channel. Why not celebrate by giving this video a like and subscribing for more arcade content? Once again, I've been Christopher J, Sick Hands RBN, and I'll see you all next time.